Okay, Prof, while the directive is well commended, but the issue of compliance is also another factor.
Yeah.
I don't know what the authority is doing to ensure, because I think majority of the the defaulters are from the private schools.
Yeah.
While the government is subsidizing tuition fees and providing infrastructure in the public schools to make it affordable and attractive.
Yeah.
But the private schools seem to be complicit in still collecting or increasing school fees without recourse to the authority, and of course making it mandatory, or rather imposing textbooks on parents.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Actually, like I said, the circular addresses four major issues. One of them is school fees increase, but the remaining three are not for immediate implementation. For example, the issue of consumable textbooks. We understand that these publishers have made investment. So we are not asking them to, within a week or so, 2, 3 weeks, just withdraw these books or edit and produce new set of books within. It's not practical. What that circular says is that effective 1st September 2026, Kaduna State will not tolerate consumable textbooks. So that's one. Number two, if you look at the class-to-class graduation issue, again, the time is very young. The schools have just resumed. So we still have got time to measure compliance with this, to establish whether there is compliance or not. And then issue of a ruling sign out again. Again, is when the candidates are graduating, when the learners are leaving the school. So the only issue that's for immediate implementation is the school fees increase. And what I can assure you is that the authority has been receiving a number of complaints, written petitions, and we have been acting accordingly. We have asked many schools to reverse to status quo. We have also had reasons to explain to parents that the school had actually followed due process. It is you who didn't attend the PTA meeting where such resolutions were made. So we have been handling them. And again, I think starting next week, there is going to be what we call school resumption monitoring exercise. It's going to traverse the entire week. Again, we are going to use that to establish assessment or compliance or otherwise.
What happens to defaulters who fail to comply with the issue
Okay.
of school fees?
Yeah, with the issue of school fees, like I said, we have asked many of these schools to reverse, to restore, to maintain status quo, that is, to reverse to old school fees regime. And we have also had situations where we ask a school to make refund to parent. In some instances, we ask them to keep the money where the parent agree to roll it over to pay for incoming term. So we have had all the options at play. So what am I trying to say? I have been receiving complaints from parents and we have been addressing them as they come. But what I think is important here is for parents to understand the role they can play here. The authority cannot, in all honesty, be in over 9,000 schools at the same time. We need them to be part and parcel, to be active members of the PTA. This is where these resolutions are to be made. And where they are not consulted, as PTA, they have reason to report to the authority, bringing evidence to us, and we would act accordingly. So parents should know that they have the powers to really follow up with the school management. They have the powers to make input as to what happens in the school reasonably, especially when it comes to the question of school fees increase. I look at it this way. When you take your kid to a school to register him or her, you are basically entering into a form of contract with the school management based on certain terms. You might have considered the distance from your own home. You might have considered the prevailing school fee structure. You might have considered quality of education and so on. It's on the premise, it's on the basis of this that you decided to enroll your kid into that school. So it's a form of contract. So where school management now feels that they want to change the terms of engagement, the terms of that contract, so the most reasonable thing to do is for the school management to liaise with the parent. No, look, we have had reasons to make more investment in the school. We have now purchased technical and vocational education facilities. For example, we have now made more investment into ICT facilities, coding, programming, robotics, and we now feel that we need, because the services have gone up, we now feel that we want to increase. And we have invested, say, 10 million and want to recoup our investment in the next 5 years. What do you see? The parent may say, yes, we agree. But then recouping in 5 years would put some pressure on us. Why not spread it over 10 years? And the school will say, no, they can settle for 7.5 years. For example, and maybe the parent may say, but then what about the development levy I have been paying in the last 5 years? Remove it from the total investment you are claiming to have made so far. You get the point. So these things are about mutual understanding. Parents should understand that they have the right to get into this kind of mutual and healthy discussion.